So I got these really cute shorts from H&M, but as you can see, they're way too big for me. But because we're girlies that can sew on this channel, I'm going to show you how you can adjust your shorts or pants that your waistband fits perfectly. So to start off, I'm trying on my shorts, and as you can see, I'm pinching the back just to see how much I want to take it in by, and then I'm grabbing my chalk and I'm marking on either side where I've pinched as much as possible, and that is what we're going to take in. So I'm laying my shorts on the flat surface, and I just want to seam rip that waistband, not completely off but just enough so that we have enough wriggle room. I've seam ripped approximately about 4.5 inches on both sides from that back point, and I'm just going to remark my chalk marking so that it's nice and clear. Now I'm going to take in the darts of our shorts to adjust that. So I'm just marking about 1/2 inch on either dart, as you can see here. I'm not actually making my darts longer, you can do if you want to. I'm just making them a bit deeper, if that's the right way to say it. Adding these darts is just going to help the waistband fit better when we do get to stitching it. So I'm just pinning our chalked markings together, and I'm just going to add a pin to hold that in place. I'm pinning one at the top and then one that is kind of like the shape that our new dart is going to be. I'm just going to repeat that on both sides, and then I'm going back in with my chalk just to redraw that line. So when we come to our machine, it's going to be really neat. So before we move on to our sewing machine, I'm just going to grab the waistband and finding the midpoint at the back, and just going to snip that in half as well, because we're going to need to adjust that later on. So now we can move on to our sewing machine. I'm just flipping my shorts inside out, and I'm going to stitch the new darts. I've seen a tip for darts, guys, and I tried it out and it's actually worked. So if you stitch from the top of the dart to the bottom, but instead of doing a back stitch, leave a bit of thread hanging loose, and then you can just knot it by hand afterwards. I'm not saying it's a game-changing hack or anything, but you learn something new every day. Now we've restitched our darts, we can move on to adjusting the waistband part. So I'm opening up my waistband and pinching where the chalk markings are, and I'm just going to pin down and then stitch along that pinned or chalked line. We're almost there with the adjustments, guys. Now I'm just going to snip off the excess fabric that we have left over from stitching our waistband. Then, you know the white elastic that we cut earlier? I'm going to adjust this, so overlap it so that it fits the size of the new waistband that we've stitched. And I'm just going to pin it together where it's overlapped and stitch that on my sewing machine to hold it in place. So typically adjusting your darts and your waistband may be enough to make it fit perfectly. I just wanted to take in my back seam a tiny bit so that it had a perfect fit for me. So I stitched from the back seam down to the back crotch by about 1/4 inch, just to pinch it in that tiny bit more. So now we've made all of our adjustments, we can reattach the waistband onto the shorts itself. The way you do this will depend on the way your original waistband was stitched. So you want to take a minute to look at your waistband closely to see the best way to stitch it. For me, I stitched the back of the waistband to the back of the shorts first, and I folded it over and tried to do the literal neatest top stitch ever. I honestly think this was the hardest part for me, just getting that top stitch to come out as neat as humanly possible. So add as many pins as you need to, and take your time when you're doing that stitch to make sure that it comes out as neat as possible. Here's the finished waistband. What I did forget to do is add the belt loop back in. So if you want a belt loop, be sure to add that back in, guys. But this is what it came out looking like. It fits so much better than the original shorts. Let me know what you think, and if you did find this video helpful, make sure you check out this video next. Bye, guys.